Hi friends, this is CC and welcome to Hobby Hands. In this vlog, we're going to turn this into this. Yes, we're going to do a build of this, which is the Amodel 1/72 scale Ka-126, which is model number 7272. It's a heli that has a coaxial rotor blades and no tail rotor. I'm quite excited. Let's begin. So the first thing we'll need to do is the interior cockpit areas. So this is an interesting model because the sprues actually do not have the part numbers, so you have to refer to the layout diagram a lot. So let's start. I'll put the parts in a little container so we don't lose them. One thing about this model I've noticed is there's a lot of flash. Alright, now I'm just going to start to build the parts together. There was a bit of cleaning up to do because of all the flash. And the parts didn't quite align very well. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, I am not sure whether it's going to be a tail heavy model, so I'll just put some weights in the front. And this is the little instrument panel box, so I'll put a tiny bit of weights in there. Alright, let's start painting. So with all the small parts, normally I'll just brush paint them. Alright, so what I would do at this stage as well is just to scribe the panel lines into the model. The molding is actually quite soft, so there's not actually any panel lines molded into the model. So what I do is just run the scriber through 3 or 4 times, each time putting more and more pressure, so the panel lines get deeper. Alright, so what I do now is to paint the interior parts which are in white. And most of the interior of this aircraft is in white. Alright, what I also am doing now is just giving all the parts a gloss clear. Okay, so all the white parts are painted and I've also covered it with clear gloss. So what I'm going to do now is put the panel line wash. So with all the white parts, I'll do a grey panel line wash. Like that. Okay, what I'll do next is to actually clean up the excess panel line wash, and I do that with a cotton bud and some thinner. This will leave very nice clean lines and no smudges. So once all that is done, What I do then is to give all the parts a flat, clear varnish. Alright, now we'll start assembling the pieces for the interior. So we'll start off with the instrument panel. Again, the fit is not the best. I've had to do a little bit of slicing and cutting. This is a cockpit floor. These are the bench seats. So this is a civilian aircraft, and the bench seats are, I guess, intended for the clients. Just do a little test fit so that we can get the angle of the bulkhead and the cockpit floor correct. Alright, now we're going to assemble the passenger bench seats into the back of the aircraft. Like that. Just about to put in the second bulkhead. Like that. Alright, at this stage, what we do is to get all the clear parts and dip it into pledge floor polish to make it shiny. we shake off the excess as much as we can, and whatever remains we'll blot it off on a kitchen towel, like that. As long as we don't get the large lumps, and we store it inside a covered box. Alright. What we're going to do now is join the two fuselage halves together. So one of the things it calls for is for the clear windows to be assembled into the fuselage half. The problem we have here is the window pieces do not quite fit. They're actually a little bit bigger than the window holes. It's not going to align very flush with the body of the aircraft. So what I'm going to do here is actually I'm not going to use the window parts. At the end we'll do a little trick with the windows. I'll show you that. So I'm just going to get rid of the little window clear pieces. I don't really want to cut the window holes. They look nice as they are. Just putting on some glue. Again, the fit is not the best. You can see that there's actually a lot of gaps. We just hold the pieces together with some masking tape and wait for the glue to dry or cure. I think this might actually benefit from a clamp, so that's what I'm doing now. Alright, let's assemble the rest of the little pieces. These are all parts of the fuselage. Like that. So there's a little piece here that looks like a little spring. Again, it's a lot of cleaning up of all the pieces because there's flash or molding lines. And the parts don't really fit very well. Alright, so we put a little spring into the space there, and then we glue this on top to hold the spring in. I'm going to glue these two pieces together. And use masking tape to hold it together again. So the next thing we're going to do is to fill up all the joint lines. There's plenty of gaps. So in this one I've just put some masking tape on both sides of the joint so that the putty does not get smeared onto the other parts. So I've actually done the filler or putty and then sanded it down. This is actually the 4th time that I'm doing this because there's a bit of work to get it to be smooth. So I use a 600 grit and then the blue one is at 800 grit down to a 2000 grit. And finish with a 6000. We need to align the fuselage pieces, and then I'm going to put on the clear parts so that the clear parts align correctly. We'll put the fuselage parts together and hold it with tape. Like that. There you go. It's alright. So the first thing we'll do is put in the back clear piece. Put the side clear piece on as well. So what I'm just doing here is making sure that the door sits flush with the rest of the body. Actually had to do a bit of cutting of the grey plastic piece or the door hole to make it fit. Alright, I'm just going to hold the clear pieces with some tape. Let the glue dries. Now the front windshield has to go on. Okay. Alright, what I want to show you here is the 2 rotor heads. There's a top rotor head and a bottom rotor head. They're made up of lots of tiny little parts, and that's what it looks like up close. There's plenty of flash that had to be cleaned up. So now for the bottom rotor blade, there's a couple of tips here. Firstly, the holes of all the parts. You need to drill those holes and make it fit. And there's actually 5 or 6 discs there that when you assemble, they have to be aligned so that the rotor shaft fit nicely. So what I do is I use a cotton bud. Cut off one of the tip and then use that as a guide to get all the discs to align. So that when we put the 2 rotor blade hubs together like that, so they fit nicely. Now we're going to start to mask the clear parts. So the clear parts have very soft molding for the framework. In order for me to actually mask the clear parts, I have to first create a guide for the frame, and I do that with masking tape, like that. What I'm doing now is actually putting the masking tape for the actual part that I want to mask off, using the pretend frame as a guide. The toothpick to pick out all the bubbles. And a really sharp blade now to cut. Again, using the pretend frame. If you do it slowly, you can actually get the corners to be rounded. That's what I'm doing there. Just cutting as you reach the corner, just round it off. So the pretend frames actually help a lot. Alright, so just going to show you a removal of the frame masking. So what you're left with is now the actual windows that you need to mask off. Alright, I've also done the front windshield, and I'm just taking off the frame masking. Alright, done. What I'm doing here is painting the little yellow tips for all the rotor blades. I'm also now spraying the frames of the clear pieces, and and this is with the interior color, which is the white. I'm also painting the exterior of this fuselage piece, which is in white anyway. Like that. Alright, so what I'm going to do next is to put some masking tape on the yellow tips of the rotor blades. Alright, what I'm doing here is actually starting to paint the part of the fuselage which is in blue. Alright, so I'm doing now is giving all the pieces a clear gloss varnish. Like that. Okay, now that the varnish is on, what we're going to do now is to give the whole model some panel line wash. Alright, now what I do is clean up the panel line wash with a cotton bud and some thinner. And what you're left with is nice, neat panel lines. Okay, let's do some work on the decals. Okay, now that all the decals have gone on, we're giving the whole aircraft a coat of clear gloss to protect the decals. Okay, after the clear gloss, we're giving the whole aircraft a couple of coats of flat clear. There you go, friends. We've got all the parts, all the components of the Ka-126 now ready to be assembled. That's what we're going to do here. Right, this is almost done now. You can see that all the parts are on, and what we're trying to do here is to put on the landing gear. We just have to make sure that the wheels all align and are square with the body of the aircraft. There you go, my friends. It's basically finished now. Just at this point, just reminder that we didn't use the glass pieces or the clear pieces for the windows here because the fit was not the best. So this is what I'm going to show you. I'm going to use this product, and what we do is just squeeze some of this onto the window. Okay, like that. And then we just wipe off the excess with some water on a cotton bud. Like that. Alright, and we'll do for the rest of the windows like that. On all 4 of the windows. And we have to wait for that to dry, and I'll show you the results. Alright, so here we go. So once the product dries, it creates a membrane. It looks like a window, clear and shiny. So you can see. So it's got a window now, without having to use the original clear parts. Alright, let's start removing the masking. So first we'll remove this one for the bubble window. Okay, there you go. There's actually a bit to be cleaned up, and I'll do that in a second. Cleaning up to do there as well. So most of the windows need a bit of cleaning up. Back window looks okay. Alright, now all the windows have been cleaned up, as you can see. Nice and shiny. We're at the final step. We're going to put the rotor blades together now and fit it onto the heli. Like that. Put it onto the heli. So one rotor turns one way and the other one turns in the other direction. Final thoughts on this model. It was really challenging to build because there was plenty of flash. The parts were not identified well on the sprues, so I had to do a lot of cutting as well because the parts didn't quite fit very well. A lot of gaps, a lot of filler to use, a lot of sanding. But at the end of it, we've got a very cute, unusual model here. So the other thing was the clear parts did not have good framework guidelines and we had to improvise with some masking tape. All in all, cute model, unusual subject, one to add to your collection. So this is a civilian aircraft and it was used by Aeroflot. Hope you enjoyed the vlog. Please subscribe to my channel and please give me a like. And thank you very much for watching.